Lyra was a young alien girl from the planet Varelia, a place full of strange plants and glowing skies. She was small but fast, with bright green eyes and smooth purple skin that shined under the twin moons. Lyra was curious about everything around her, but there was one place she was not allowed to go, the old human military base on the edge of the forest. For many years the humans had controlled the base, and the alien people were warned to stay far away. But Lyra's curiosity was stronger than fear, and one night, when the sky was dark and silent, she decided to explore the base alone. The base was huge and cold, made of metal and lights that blinked like stars. Lyra moved carefully through the empty halls, listening to every sound, her heart beating fast. She knew the humans might catch her, but something deep inside told her to keep going. In one room, she saw many strange objects on tables and shelves, glass bottles with colorful liquids, machines that hummed softly, and papers covered in symbols she could not read. Then she saw it, a small bottle with a red liquid inside, glowing faintly with a label that showed a sharp symbol, but no words she could understand. Lyra reached out with trembling hands and grabbed the bottle. She did not know what it was, but it looked important and powerful. She opened the bottle and took a small sip, curious about the taste. The liquid was bitter and cold, but it spread quickly inside her body. At first, nothing happened, but then she felt a strange warmth growing deep inside her chest. Her heart began to beat faster, and her breathing became heavy. Lyra's body started to change. Her muscles felt stronger and tighter. Her skin tingled with energy, but at the same time, strange feelings rushed over her: confusion, excitement, and a wild desire she had never felt before. She tried to stay calm, but her mind was spinning. She looked at her hands and saw them shaking. She wanted to run but felt frozen for a moment, trapped by the strange power inside her. Suddenly, the door behind her opened with a loud hiss. 2 human soldiers entered the room, their faces hard and eyes wide with surprise. They saw Lyra and froze for a moment, then quickly reached for their weapons. "Stop! Don't move!" one soldier shouted. Lyra knew she was caught, but she could not stop the strange feelings flooding her mind. She tried to speak, but her voice came out shaky and soft. The soldiers approached slowly. One of them was a young man with kind eyes, but the other was older and looked angry. They grabbed Lyra's arms and pulled her up. Lyra struggled to break free, but her body felt strong, but also weak in strange ways. The serum was still working inside her, making her emotions wild and hard to control. The soldiers took her to a bright room filled with machines and screens. Scientists in white coats watched her carefully, talking quietly to each other. Lyra felt scared and alone, but she also noticed something new: hope, because the young soldier who caught her did not look at her like an enemy. "Who are you?" a scientist asked sharply. Lyra did not answer. She only stared at the floor, trying to hide the strange feelings she could not explain. The older soldier stepped forward. "This alien drank the forbidden serum," he said. "The one we use to make our soldiers stronger and more aggressive." Lyra heard the word "forbidden" and felt a chill run down her spine. She had no idea what the serum really did or why it was so important. The young soldier looked at her with sympathy. "We need to help her," he said softly, "but the commander will want answers." Lyra's heart pounded in her chest as she realized she was now part of something bigger and dangerous. She wondered if she would ever be free again, or if the serum would control her forever. Days passed, and Lyra stayed inside the base, watched closely by the scientists. She tried to control the strange feelings that made her restless and confused. Sometimes, the serum's power made her strong enough to break the machines, but then she would feel weak and tired. The young soldier, Jake, visited her often. He told her stories about Earth and humans, about soldiers and wars. Lyra listened carefully, finding comfort in his voice. She felt a small hope that maybe she could trust someone after all. But the military was not patient. They wanted to study Lyra and use the serum's power for their own plans. They did not care about her feelings or her life. One night, Lyra could not take it anymore. Her heart was full of fear and anger, and the serum's effects were stronger than ever. She broke free from her small cell using her new strength. Alarms rang loudly in the base as soldiers rushed to find her. Lyra ran through dark hallways, her breath fast and her mind sharp. She knew she had to escape before it was too late. Outside, the jungle waited, dark and wild. Lyra ran into the trees, hiding in the shadows. But she was not safe yet. Her body was changing, her emotions wild, and the soldiers were not far behind. Story ends here with Lyra looking back at the glowing base. She did not know what would happen next. But one thing was certain. Her life had changed forever. Lyra ran fast through the thick jungle, her heart pounding like a drum. The trees were tall and close, their leaves hiding the moonlight. She could hear the shouts of the soldiers behind her, the sound of boots crushing the dry leaves. The strange power from the serum still burned inside her, making her muscles tense and her mind restless. Her breath came quick and shallow, but she pushed herself to run faster. She knew the jungle was dangerous, full of wild animals and hidden traps, but the soldiers wanted to catch her. And that was a greater threat. As she ran, Lyra's mind was full of questions. What was this serum? Why did it make her feel so wild and confused? And why did the humans want her so badly? Suddenly, a branch snapped nearby, and Lyra froze. A human stepped out from the shadows. It was Jake, the young soldier who had caught her before. But this time he was not holding a weapon. His eyes were soft and full of worry. "Lyra, wait," he called quietly. "I'm not here to hurt you." Lyra hesitated, her body still tense with fear and anger. The serum made her feelings sharp and hard to control. But Jake's calm voice was like a small light in the dark jungle. She stopped running and looked at him. "Why are you here?" she asked, her voice shaky. Jake stepped closer but kept his hands open and empty. "I don't want to fight anymore," he said. "I want to help you find a way to stop the serum's effects." Lyra wanted to believe him, but she remembered the soldiers chasing her. "How can I trust you?" she asked. "You are one of them." Jake nodded slowly. "I was, but now I see that what they are doing is wrong. The serum was made to create super soldiers, but it is dangerous and cruel. I don't want you to suffer." For the first time since drinking the serum, Lyra felt a small hope grow inside her. Maybe Jake was different from the others. Suddenly, they heard heavy footsteps and shouting. The soldiers were getting closer, and hiding was no longer an option. Jake grabbed Lyra's hand firmly. "We have to move now." Together, they ran deeper into the jungle. Lyra's wild feelings mixed with fear and a strange new trust in Jake. She did not know what the future held, but for now, she had an ally. As they ran, Jake told her about the serum's secrets, how it changed the brain to make soldiers more aggressive and fearless. But in Lyra's alien body, it caused confusion, strong desires, and unstable emotions. They needed to find a cure before the serum took full control. The jungle was dark and full of dangers, but Lyra's senses were sharper than ever. She could hear the sounds of strange creatures moving nearby. Her body was strong, but the serum's side effects made her feel like she might lose control at any moment. Suddenly, a large beast appeared on their path. Blocking the way, it growled deeply, eyes glowing red in the night. Lyra's heart raced, but she stood her ground, feeling the strange power inside her rising. Jake stepped back, ready to fight or run. But Lyra surprised them both. With a burst of speed and strength, she dodged the beast's attack and pushed it away. Her body moved with new power, but her mind was still struggling to stay calm. After the beast fled, Lyra looked at Jake and smiled weakly. "Maybe this serum is dangerous, but it gave me strength too," she said. Jake nodded. "We will use that strength to survive," he said. But the soldiers were still chasing them, and the jungle was full of unknown threats. Their journey had only just begun. Lyra and Jake found shelter in a small cave deep inside the jungle. The air was cool and damp, and the soft sound of dripping water echoed around them. Lyra sat down, her body still trembling from the chase. Jake took out a small device from his pack and began to study the strange serum bottle she had drunk. "This serum," Jake said quietly, "was made for humans, to turn soldiers into fierce warriors. It changes the brain, makes them brave, strong, and aggressive. But when you drank it, something different happened. Your alien body reacted in a way no one expected." Lyra looked at him, eyes wide and confused. "Why me? Why does it make me feel like this?" Jake shook his head. "I don't know for sure, but your species is very different from humans. The serum is powerful and dangerous, and it's affecting your body and mind in ways we don't understand. That's why the military wants you back, so they can study you and control the serum's power." Lyra felt a cold wave of fear wash over her. "They don't care about me, only about what I can do," she whispered. Jake nodded. "I want to stop them, but first we have to find a cure for you. Or at least a way to control the serum's effects. I know a scientist who worked on the project but left when she saw how dangerous it was. She might help us." Lyra looked at Jake, hope and doubt mixing inside her. "Can I trust you?" she asked. Jake smiled softly. "I'm not like the others. I want to help you, no matter what." Suddenly, a noise from outside startled them. Branches breaking and hurried footsteps. The military was closing in again, more soldiers this time. And they had machines hunting for them. Jake grabbed Lyra's hand. "We have to move now." They left the cave quickly, running through the thick jungle. The serum's power made Lyra's body strong, but her mind was still a battlefield of wild emotions. She felt anger, fear, and a strange craving she did not understand. As they ran, Jake told her about the military's secret plan. They wanted to create an army of super soldiers using the serum, but many soldiers had died or gone mad during testing. The project was hidden from the public. But now Lyra was the key to its success or failure. Lyra's mind raced. She did not want to be a weapon. She wanted freedom and peace. But the serum was changing her in ways she could not control. Suddenly, they reached a river, wide and fast, blocking their path. Jake looked around for a way to cross. Lyra's heart pounded, the serum's effects making her restless and impatient. "Maybe I can help," she said, stepping forward. Using her new strength, she jumped onto a fallen tree and balanced carefully. With Jake following, they crossed the river. But Lyra almost slipped once. The strange feelings inside her made it hard to focus. On the other side, they stopped to catch their breath. Jake looked at Lyra and said, "We're close to the scientist's lab, but it won't be easy to find her. The military is watching everywhere." Lyra nodded. "Then we have to be ready for anything." As they continued deeper into the jungle, a shadow moved silently behind the trees. A figure watched their every step, waiting for the right moment to strike. The story ends here with Lyra and Jake unaware of the danger lurking close. Their journey was becoming more dangerous by the minute. Lyra and Jake moved quietly through the dense jungle, the leaves whispering secrets around them. The danger from the soldiers felt closer than ever, but something new was growing between them. Trust, fragile but real. Lyra's strange feelings from the serum made her emotions swing like a storm. Sometimes she was fierce and wild, other times soft and vulnerable. Jake noticed these changes and never judged her, only offered steady support. One night, as they rested under the glowing stars, Lyra spoke softly. "I don't understand this power inside me. It scares me. But sometimes I feel stronger than I ever have." Jake nodded, lighting a small fire. "The serum changed you, yes, but it also showed me a side of you no one else has seen. You're brave and fierce, but also kind and real. I want to help you control this power, not let it control you." Lyra smiled faintly, feeling warmth not just from the fire. "I never had someone who believed in me like that," she said. "For the first time, I think I can fight back, not just run." As they talked, the bond between them grew. Jake shared stories of his life, his fears, hopes, and regrets. Lyra listened, feeling a connection deeper than words. But the night was not safe. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed nearby. Soldiers had found their trail and were closing in fast. Jake grabbed Lyra's hand. "We have to move now," he said urgently. Lyra's heart pounded, but this time, she did not feel alone. Together, they ran through the jungle, weaving between trees and leaping over roots. Lyra's new strength gave her speed and agility beyond what she knew, but the serum's effects made her emotions flare, almost causing her to lose control. During the chase, they encountered a wild, alien creature blocking their path. It growled low and moved toward them. Jake prepared to fight, but Lyra stepped forward. Her body pulsed with the serum's power, but her mind was calm. She reached out slowly, speaking softly in her alien language. The creature paused, eyes narrowing but not attacking. Lyra's connection to her homeworld and her new strength allowed her to calm the beast. It stepped aside, letting them pass. Jake watched in awe. "You're amazing," he whispered. Lyra smiled but said, "This power is part of me, but it's also a battle I have to win every day." They finally reached a hidden clearing where the scientist's small lab was hidden among the trees. A worn sign read, "Dr. Selene, the woman who might hold the key to saving Lyra." As they approached, a figure stepped out from the shadows. Dr. Selene looked tired but determined, her eyes sharp and curious. "Lyra," she said quietly, "I've been waiting for you. The serum was never meant to be used like this, and I will help you. But first you must trust me." Lyra looked at Jake, then back to the scientist. She nodded slowly, feeling hope for the first time in days. But outside the clearing, unknown eyes watched and waited. The military was closer than ever, ready to strike. Inside the small lab, Dr. Selene moved quickly, her hands steady as she examined Lyra's condition. The room was filled with strange machines and glowing screens. Lyra watched nervously, feeling the wild power inside her pulse with every heartbeat. Dr. Selene spoke softly. "The serum was created to make soldiers stronger, but it has dangerous side effects. It changes the brain in ways no one fully understands. When you drank it, Lyra, your alien body reacted unpredictably. That's why the military is so desperate to control you." Lyra's eyes widened. "They want to use me as a weapon," Selene nodded. "Yes, but you are more than that. You are a person with a choice to make." Jake looked at Lyra, his eyes full of hope and worry. "We have to find a way to reverse the serum's effects before it takes full control," he said. But their moment of hope was shattered by a loud explosion outside. The military had found the lab, and soldiers were rushing in. "Guns ready. Prepare to move," Selene shouted, grabbing a small device from her desk. Lyra felt the serum's power surge inside her, making her heart race and her thoughts swirl. As the soldiers burst into the room, Lyra's wild emotions pushed her to the edge. She fought to stay calm, using every bit of strength to control the strange desires and anger inside her. Jake stood by her side, fighting off the soldiers with quick moves and steady aim. Selene worked fast to upload the cure she had developed into a portable injector. "We can't stay here," she said. "Lyra, you have to trust me and take this." Lyra hesitated for a moment, the serum making her body scream in protest. But then she nodded and took the injector. The cold liquid flowed through her veins, slowly calming the wild storm inside. Outside, the battle grew fiercer. Allies who believed in their cause arrived just in time to help. Humans and aliens fighting side by side against the military forces. Lyra felt her body change again, this time slowing and steadying. The strange feelings faded but did not disappear completely. She knew the fight was not over, but she felt stronger and more in control. Jake smiled. "You did it." Lyra looked at him and said, "We did it together." But in the shadows, a dark figure watched with cold eyes. The military commander was angry and determined. He would not stop until he had Lyra and the serum's power under his control. The story ends with a promise of more battles ahead. Lyra, Jake, and their allies ready to face the coming storm. The air was thick with tension as Lyra, Jake, and their small group of allies prepared for the battle ahead. The jungle clearing became a fortress, lit by flickering fires and guarded by watchful eyes. Everyone knew this fight would decide their future freedom or capture, life or death. Lyra felt the serum's power inside her, a steady flame she was learning to control. Her muscles were strong and her senses sharp, but she also felt the weight of responsibility. She was not just fighting for herself, but for all those who suffered under the military's harsh rule. Jake checked his gear and looked at Lyra. "You're ready," he said quietly. Lyra nodded, feeling a mixture of fear and determination. Dawn broke. The enemy forces arrived, soldiers armed with heavy weapons and strange machines. The ground shook under the weight of their advance, but Lyra and her allies stood firm, ready to defend their hope. The battle began with loud explosions and gunfire echoing through the trees. Lyra moved with grace and power, using her serum-enhanced strength to fight back. Her wild emotions were now tools she could control, turning fear and anger into fierce courage. Jake fought beside her, protecting her from harm and pushing back the enemy. Allies from both human and alien worlds joined the fight, united by a common cause. The fight was brutal and exhausting, but they refused to give up. In the heat of battle, a sudden betrayal shook their ranks. One of their trusted allies revealed a secret to the commander. The enemy learned of their plans and weaknesses. Chaos spread through the defenders like wildfire. Lyra's heart sank, but she pushed through the despair. She focused on Jake's steady presence and the strength inside her. With a roar, she led a charge that broke through the enemy lines, her powers at their peak. She became a force no one could stop. The commander himself appeared, a cold smile on his face. He challenged Lyra. "This serum makes me stronger than you. You will fall today," he sneered. But Lyra stood tall, her eyes glowing with power. "I am not just the serum," she said firmly. "I am hope. And you cannot destroy that." With a final clash, Lyra and the commander fought. The battle was fierce and close, but Lyra's heart and will won. The commander fell, defeated and powerless. The jungle grew quiet, and the sun shone brightly through the leaves. Lyra looked around at her friends and smiled. They had won the battle, but their journey was far from over. The battle was over, but the scars it left were deep. Lyra stood at the edge of the jungle, looking out over the sunrise. Her body still felt the gentle hum of the serum's power, but now it was calm and steady. She took a deep breath, feeling the warm light fill her with hope. Around her, Jake and the others began to rebuild. The military's dark shadow was lifting. The secret project was exposed, and leaders from both humans and aliens promised change. Lyra looked at Jake, her friend and protector. "You saved me more than once," she said softly. Jake smiled. "We saved each other." Together, they decided to build a new life, one where humans and aliens could live in peace. Lyra worked to understand and control her powers, using them to help and protect others. She became a symbol of strength and kindness, a bridge between worlds. The people of Varelia and Earth began to trust one another. Old fears faded, replaced by new friendships. Lyra and Jake's story inspired many, a reminder that even in darkness, courage and kindness could light the way. But Lyra never forgot the journey she had taken. The serum had changed her, but it did not define her. She was more than a weapon or a test subject. She was a fighter, a healer, and a friend. As the sun rose higher, Lyra smiled to the future, a future she would help build with hope and strength. Her story was just beginning, and with Jake by her side, she knew anything was possible.